What's up everyone, how are you doing today? It's Angry Roleplay, and finally here is the build itself, the Rathma's Unholy army build. Guys and girls, I've been sick for the last week and I've been experimenting with the Rathma set. I ended up experimenting with the Narius, created the build and then switched to the Rathma because I'm a huge pet fan. I always played summoners and all that shit in every game, and I played summoner in Path of Exile and I really wanted to make pets great again. And I read all the shit on Reddit on Diablo fans that the Rathma set was nerfed into the ground after the PTR, and it was broken during PTR, but then it was nerfed and it was kind of dead. And I started looking for an optimum combination of skills that allows to push the set to the limits, and eventually I found this combination of skills. And a bit of a spoiler for you ahead, this setup is absolutely not as easy to play as the Narius set. And one thing that saddens me the most is that Narius has almost identical amount of damage that the Rathma's blazing set with full firepower. Narius has all of this as well, and I believe that if Rathma will not, if it will not get any kind of rework or additional supply of firepower, toughness as well. Toughness is very bad. So unless some changes happen to the set itself, most people will still play in Narius because it's much easier, it's much more straightforward. You don't need, crazy reflexes and all that shit, crazy understanding of the game. It's very easy, straightforward. You press one fucking button and get all your damage reduction, all your damage stacks up. It's very easy. With Rathma set, it was quite a task to make it work on a decent level. So I go a bit of ahead and say that I cleared Greater If 92 with exactly this setup and this damage. This is very low damage, and I have only 1, 2, 3. I have only 3 ancients and also augmented this ones. So this is 3 ancient pretty much. The rest is garbage, like this belt is garbage, no life here. This is garbage as well, no elemental damage. So pretty much I consider this a very, very, low damage. It's obviously not 5 million or something. That's less than 2 million damage. And with this damage I cleared Greater If 92 with a lot of time ahead, I was very far ahead, like 3 to 4 minutes ahead, and then I got a very terrible Reef Guardian, the Blighter, and he one-shotted me several times. So, but still, no, the firepower is there, and I haven't seen such much firepower maybe in any build except maybe the Archon Mental Heal Wizard. Anything besides that, I haven't seen so much firepower in the game so far. I mean, there's plenty of single target damage and plenty of burst damage, and there is one fist of damage that can be so strong that it can kill elites in 3 seconds if you do everything at the same time at the right spot. So how this shit works in general. Let's start with the set itself. The set is 6-piece Rathma's The Bone of Rathma. What the set gives us in general. 2-piece, your minions have a chance to reduce the cooldown of Army of the Dead by 1 second each time they deal damage. Now here's another sad point about the set itself. Army of the Dead is complete fucking garbage. The skill is very fun to watch, but unfortunately it pales in comparison to the minions themselves. So this is very sad, and like I mentioned, it's very fun skill, and it's in the set, but it's useless. So unless they rework this shit, the 2-piece bonus was absolutely fucking useless for us. Now, 4-piece, you gain a 1% damage reduction for 15 seconds each time one of your minions deal damage. 50 seconds max. Now there's another problem. These skeletons, they pop out of the ground one by one, and it takes quite a bit of time for them to pop all of the ground, 7 of them, and start doing damage. Not only you are very, very naked like a little baby running around monsters, especially around the ranged monsters, and I've been so frustrated with the setup. I haven't been so frustrated I mean, since maybe the Carnival, Carnival was super glass cannon, where you had to hide behind the fetishes to shoot all the shit. So it reminds me like Carnival, I guess. It's very glass cannon. So the damage reduction is not instant, unlike the Inarius. It's another huge problem with the Rathma set. With the Inarius, you basically get to 10 stacks of the bone armor and you're good to go. With this, you need to wait before each fucking skeleton pops off the ground. Then they need to get to the target and start attacking. Then they start getting the fucking stack reduction. Oh my fucking god, I know all the time around you running around trying to survive. That's a lot of shit. Seriously, it's unbelievably bad. 6 spears. Each active skeletal mage increases the damage of your minions and army of the dead by 250%. Now, here's the deal. Most of our damage is through the skeletal mages. Not only the skeletal mages themselves are minions, but the more skeletal mages we have, the more damage multiplier we have for the 6-piece bonus. This is one of the major problems with the set itself. The mages last not very long and they also vanish and just disappear. And no, in our damage disappears as well. That's why it's so bad compared to an Inarius set as well. So with an Inarius you basically need to hit them up with your bone armor and they get the damage and that's it. And they get higher damage than with all the fucking 10 mages up. What's the point in that? What's the fucking point in that? Hating the Rathma set so much and hating the summoners and the pet monsters so much. They need to work like crazy. They need to work their hand to the bone to get all the fucking mages up, all the fucking skeletons up. And even then, you can immediately die. You are losing mages all the time. They are fucking disappearing. And the build is completely unplayable without this ring in the cube. There's even rings specifically for keeping the mages up more for during a longer period. This is ridiculous. Inarius has absolutely nothing of this. And still, it does the same amount of damage almost, even higher. So that's the deal. But sorry about complaining, guys. I've complained just too much, I guess. Let's get to the build. It's actually a very good build. I like it very much. Even though it's very frustrating to play, it's very, it's no instant damage like you instantly doing tremendous amount of damage. No, you need to work for your damage. You need to have a ton of skeleton mages, a ton of buffs going on, and then you do tremendous amount of damage. So the set itself, okay. Let's talk about the stats you need on your items. First of all, the Rathma Skull Helm. You need intelligence, hit chance, and skeletal mage damage. Shoulders, int, wit, armor, and CDR. Armor is better than life here. The gloves is int, hit damage, hit chance, and CDR. Pants, int, armor, and vitality. Boots, int, wit, armor, and skeletal mage damage. Now this is another set that we have equipped, and this is 2-piece set, and it's called the Jester Arms, and it contains of the Jester Skull Scythe and Jester Skull Shield. This shit here is like this. When the target of your command skeletons dies, your skeletons are automatically commanded to attack a nearby target. And when your skeletons are commanded to attack a target, all of your minions deal 400% increased damage. This is a huge multiplier on top of all damage your minions get through the other bonuses, gems, whatever, your sets or whatever. So this is just damage on top of damage just for your minions. That's why it's very unique. The stats you should have on your scythe is basically just full damage, damage intelligence, and attack speed. But I strongly recommend keeping life on hit here, and I'll explain why you need this very soon. Life on hit is very important for this build. On the shield you need to have int, wit, life, hit chance, and CDR is also very good here. The bracers should be ancient pathland defenders, but also you can use Reaper's robes for additional essence recovery, or even Nemesis braces for more spawn elites. This is all very good. Ancient pathland defenders are mostly for an extra damage reduction because we actually stun the enemies with the bone spikes and that's it. So the amulet is the new one, the Haunted Visions, and this is one of the most important items in the build because Simulacrum now drains 5% of our maximum life every second, but lasts twice as long. This is incredibly massive amount of essence for us, and I explain later on because it's quite a little bit complicated how this shit works in general. Now the belt is Deity's Binding. It's a universal damage reduction belt for any Necromancer out there. When we cast Decreepify, we immediately get damage reduction, and when Decreepify affects any mob on screen, we immediately get damage reduction. This is how it works. Always remember that we kill monsters all the time, so there must be monsters affected by Decreepify for deities to work. So for example, if you casted Decreepify on a pack of mobs, kill them, and then running ahead, the first thing you need to do is to cast Decreepify on the next pack of mobs, because you don't have your damage reduction of the belt. So, okay, the stats should be just int, wit, armor, and life here. Next ring is Crispin Sentence. This is ridiculous multiplier ring. We deal up to 100% increased damage against slowed enemies, or triple this bonus against enemies affected by any other type of control impairing effects. And control impairing effects are blind, stun, freeze, chill, whatever, it doesn't matter. Here we use stun because we attack with the bone spikes, and both spikes stuns enemies for 1 second. The stats for the ring is basically just damage. Int, hit chance, hit damage in CDR is also good. You can also have life on hit here on one of the rings instead of the braces. It will potentially save your ancient braces as well. So, another ring is Unity, and don't forget to equip the second Unity on your follower as well. So this is it. The gems are, I use amethyst in Helm, and the rest are mostly topazes or rubies depending on how much frustrated I am. Don't forget that we use the Bone Blood Rush here in our build, and it doubles our armor. So rubies, if we use the rubies, we will get tremendous amount of additional armor as well, and it will get double through the Blood Rush. So potentially for the toughness, absolutely use rubies all around. For the braces and for the amulet, the rolls should be for the braces. Physical damage, because we use most of our damage comes from the skeletal mage, and which is a physical rune. Physical damage, hit chance, vitality, or life on hit. The Haunted Visions amulet should be physical damage, hit damage, and hit chance. The legendary gems are Bane of the Trapped, Enforcer, and Esoteric Alteration. Why Esoteric Alteration? Because we're extremely squishy, and I made this build specifically very tanky, able to stand in arcanes and shit, able to stand in the corner, hide in the corners, you know, tank many damage, survive on recovery and damage reduction. That's how I made this build. I wanted this build to be as frustration free as possible, as tanky as possible. This is why there is Esoteric Alteration, Unity, Ancient Path and Defenders, Deity's Belt, and all other defensive shit, guys. So, another legendary gem that you can use to try and use is Gargak of Swiftness as well, or maybe Bane of the Stricken, because, you know, we still attack pretty fast with the bone spikes, and we use the Swift Harvesting passive here to attack faster, to recover our essence. So, I think the Bane of the Stricken, especially in groups, is extremely strong as well. And I strongly think that this setup in groups will be very strong. Like, if we get the Simulacrum up with all mages up, I calculated the damage is about 3 trillions per second. All mages, they do 3 trillions per second. Trillions. Guys, you can melt, you know, under perfect circumstances. I melted half of life in 87 in like 5 seconds. And it's not uncommon to melt half of your Rift Guardian in like 5 seconds, and then you ran out of Simulacrum or whatever, and it gets slower. But the burst of damage is absolutely fucking ridiculous. So let's get back to the skills and how the shit works as well. On the left bottom we have Bone Spike's Sudden Impact. This is very important rune because it recovers 24 essence, and also it stuns and procs Crispin's Sentence ring here. Not only this, but in the cube we have Brelina's Shadow Hooks. Every point of maximum essence increases more damage by 0.5%, and Bone Spikes generate 5 additional essence on every hit, so we generate around 29 essence every hit, and this is pretty crazy. Let's talk about the cube a bit. Tusker and Theo in the cube increases the attack speed of our pets by 50%. It's just a straightforward pet damage multiplier right here. They attack like crazy. And don't forget that faster attack speed of the pets also increases the healing they give us. And that's it. And this ring, Circle of Knighthood Evil, you now raise an additional skeleton mage with this cast. So basically instead of one mage, we immediately I'm sorry, I'm out of essence here. So with each cast we raise not one but 2 mages, and it basically a mandatory ring. I don't know why they did it, so frustrating setup. You know, in Ares has all instantly, and here in the Rathma set we need to work like a fucking retard to have all of our damage up. So this ring is fucking mandatory, otherwise you'll be out of mages all the time. Even with this ring, it's pretty hard to have everything up, but without this ring it's fucking impossible at all. Okay, so this ring allows us to raise the mages and the last 4 additional seconds. This is very important for us to have maximum amount of mages all the time to do damage. So left button is our generator and stun proc. On the right is all out damage, skeletal mage, singularity. Now this rune is fucking OP as fuck. Look at this, consumes all essence to summon a powerful minion. The minion's damage is increased by 3% for every point of essence consumed. I have 310 essence. So if they consume 310% and 10 essence, the damage will be increased about 1000%. Holy fucking shit. Guys, 1000% increased damage of these mages. And this is the reason why we have the fast attack. We need to attack as fast as possible, to recover as fast as possible, and to produce as much powerful mages as fucking possible. And don't forget, they're also the physical rune. That's why it's very good to have physical on the bracers on the amulet as well. Here is Blood Rush Potency. This is our mobility and armor as well. That's why I have armor stacked on my bracer, on my shoulder, on my pants, on my boots. Well, armor fucking everywhere, guys. It's very good. It doubles the armor pretty much, and also it's our mobility. You know, you can have bone armor here, but I actually checked the numbers, and for a fucking unknown reason, bone armor gives me less damage reduction than the blood rush. Blood rush is not constant, you have to relocate all the time, but overall bone armor is like very cheap, but it's less effective. Blood rush gives you mobility and toughness as well. That's why it's so exceptionally good. Common skeletons, freezing grasps. Now there's 3 runes which you can use. I'm switching all the time depending, you know, on my mood today. I used to run with Dark Mending, and I still run with Dark Mending pretty much a lot. Then I switched to Freezing Grasp and see, you know, if it will help me with the Rig Guardian or what. No, Freezing Grasp is an exceptionally strong rune because the target of your command is frozen for 3 seconds. And this 3 seconds, we proc this fucking ring like crazy, triples all damage like crazy with this ring. But this rune, Dark Mending, skeleton minions will heal you for half of your total total health per hit while being commanded, and they hit like crazy, so it heals pretty much good. I also used Enforcer in the past. Enforcer is also very good because command skeletons is 50 essences. It's a very expensive skill. Like, it's no bullshit, it's fucking expensive. So these 3 runes are all pretty decent. Enforcer, Dark Mending, and Freezing Grasp. Okay. So next is Decrepified Dizzying Curse. This is mostly for another stun proc here, another 10% stun, and also it gives us the damage reduction of an dentist belt, don't forget about it. Simulacrum, now this is one of the only reasons why the whole fucking shit does damage. Look at this. Creates a simulacrum made of blood that will duplicate your secondary skill for 15 seconds. Reservoir, your maximum essence is increased by 100% while your simulacrum is active. Lasts for 15 seconds, we have twice more essence. And look at this, 100 visions, simulacrum lasts twice as long. So for 30 seconds we have twice more essence. And what it means for our build, look here. First of all, we get the passive crazy amount of damage through the relentless shadow hook. Every point of maximum essence increases your damage by 0.5%. So with this essence, I have around 150% increased damage. With Simulacrum up, look here, I have 620 fucking hell essence. And this relentless shadow hook will increase my damage by 300%. But not only this, I still replenish my essence through the bone spikes. And I can produce tremendously powerful skeleton mages. Look at this, 3% per essence, 600. So instead of 1000% increased damage per skeleton mage, I'll get 2000%. Each of these mages will do 2000% increased damage. This is silly. And this 2000% will also get increased by relentless shadow hook on top by another 300%. So all these multipliers give a tremendous amount of boost of damage. This is why when the simulacrum is up, you know, I use it only in very tough situations. Like for example, there is a very nasty pack, you see, very huge pack of trash mobs that will take a lot of time to kill. Get a few packs together, as much fucking elites as possible without being completely dangerous. Then pop simulacrum, start producing the mages, everything dead, absolutely fucking dead. Try to save simulacrum for your Reef Garden fight. It will tremendously make the fight faster. It can last, you know, instead of 1.5 minutes and 2 minutes, you can last it for 30 seconds easily with this up. So let's talk about the passive as well. One of the passive that I use is Sweet Harvesting. It's just for more essence recovery, that's it. I just want to attack faster, pretty much, that's it. This is Extended Servitude. Increase the duration of your skeletal mage in Revive by 25%. Unfortunately, Revive is complete garbage. It's a very useless skill, it's very sad, but Revive is garbage at the moment. I really hope they will rework Revive as well, but for now, all we need to think about is skeleton mages. And with this passive, our skeleton mages just last a little bit longer, and we have our 6-piece bonus longer as well. Next passive that I personally use is Overwhelming Essence, 20% more increased damage, cheap as well, and stronger mages all the time as well. And this is a mandatory to stay alive. Grisly Tribute. You are healed for 10% of your life on hit when one of your minions hits the enemy. So, you know, it will be very good to get life on hit on your weapon, because a weapon rolls with 20 plus life on hit. Rings and everything else rolls for around 11 plus K. So I would personally roll 2 rings with a ring and a bracer, I think, or just the weapon. With 2 of these rolls here or 1 roll here, you are pretty tanky with all the other stacks of damage reduction as well. So this is very good, all of this. Don't forget we also have Unity and all the other damage reduction stacks. And another good passive here instead of Swift Harvesting, like Swift Harvesting is, you know, kind of an option here. You can just use it, you can just drop it for something else. Another interesting passive is Blood is Power. Accumulating 100% of your max life in damage, ability cooldowns are reduced by 20%. And we only need this for Simulacrum. The more Simulacrum up, the better damage we do across the rift. And there's also pretty cool passives as well, like the Rathma's shield. When we press Simulacrum, we cannot lose life for 4 seconds. Then another final service. I'm not a fan of this. I know I don't want to lose all my skeletal mages that I've been summoning for 20 seconds and just lose everything just to heal and then die. So I'm not a very big fan of this. This is like, you know, a cheap second life, but in my opinion, this is not worth it at all. I think that Swift harvesting is a little more important, but if you feel like you're dying too much and all of that shit, you can try final service. It's no big deal, I guess. It's still a decent choice here. So this is it. This is the guide, guys. Thanks for watching. And as a potion, I will recommend the Bottom's Potion of the Tower. It increases armor by 20%, and as always, it's very, very good. Now, if you have any kind of questions, you can please consult the Diablo fans guide that I wrote there. It is very, very, detailed guide. I can forget something in this video guide, but if you have some questions, write it on my private website, angryroleplayer.com, or on the Diablo fans guide. That's it, guys. That's it. Thanks for watching and see you soon.